Hello, welcome to my next video on Azure fundamentals. Today we are going to see the section virtual networks. We are going to see 20 questions with the answers and explanations within 20 minutes time frame. The first question, to extend their private data center capability, Contoso company have decided to leverage Azure virtual machines. They need to build a unified networking infrastructure between their on-premises environment and Azure. Which service allow them to connect the networking infrastructure to Azure? So the options are virtual network, option 2 VPN gateway, option 3 Azure load balancer, option 4 application gateway, option 5 Azure subnet, option 6 VNet peering. And there are options given as 2 or 4 or 2 and 4 or 2, 4 and 6. The right option for this question is 2, that is VPN gateway. Let's see the reason. The VPN gateway helps to build a unified network between the resources available in on-premises environment with the Azure network which are available or which are all built already. So the right answer for this question is option A. Next question, Azure Virtual Networks allows customers to replicate their on-premises networking infrastructure in the cloud. Is it true or false? The right answer for this question is true. Let's see the reason. Virtual network allows customer to represent and extend their on-premises networking infrastructure in the cloud. That is, you can connect the on-premises resources with the cloud very easily. So the right answer for this question is option A. Next question, Azure route table can be associated with a virtual network or virtual network subnet or application security group or network security group. The right answer for this question is option B, that is virtual network subnet. Let's see the reason. At this point of time, Azure route tables can only be associated with Azure virtual network subnets, and that can be helpful for setting up the routing rules. That way you can connect multiple number of resources within Azure. Next question, Dash accesses Azure virtual networks through the high performance VPN gateways. Next, and options are Azure Application Gateway, Azure VPN Gateway, Azure Firewall, Azure Network Watcher. If you see option C and D are not relevant to this question. And so between option and A, the right answer for this question is option B, that is Azure VPN Gateway, that allows virtual network to connect to any gateway through a high performance network. And so the option B is the right answer. And also this Azure VPN gateway connects your on-premises network to Azure through site-to-site VPN, which is similar in what way that you can set up and connect to remote branch office. Next question. Dash is a virtual private network connection, is a form of a computer outside your organization, back it into your corporate network. Is it point to site virtual private network or site to site virtual private network or Azure Express route? The right answer for this question is point to point virtual private network. That is, let's see the reason. A point to site virtual private network is a VPN connection that allows an individual client computer to connect to virtual network over the internet. This type of VPN is typically used by remote workers or employees who need to access the resources on company's private network from a remote location. And so option A is the right answer. Next question, true or false? Virtual networks allows you to create multiple isolated virtual network. Is it true or false? The right answer for this question is option A, that is true. Let's see the reason. Azure Virtual Network Service provide option to create multiple isolated network. They can work independently. They can establish connection between themselves. And so option A is the right answer. Next question. Azure Virtual Machines enable you to link resources together in your on-premises environment and within your Azure subscription. Is it true or false? Please note that the wordings in the question connecting the on-premises environment and within your Azure subscription. Okay, and so the right answer for this question is option A, that is true. Let's see the reason. You can link resources from on-premises resources under your subscription through VPN connectivity. And so option A is the right answer. Next question. For environment where you need greater bandwidth and even higher level of security, Dash is the best approach. Option A, point to site virtual private network, or site to site virtual private network, or Azure Express route. The right answer for this question is Azure Express route. Let's see the reason for selecting this option. Express route is an Azure service that lets you to create private connection between Microsoft data centers and the infrastructure that is on your premises or in a co-location facility. And so option C is the right answer. Next question. Which among the following is used for performing wide area network optimization, that is WAN optimization? Option A, virtual private network. Option B, network security group. Option C, network virtual appliances. Option D, border gateway protocol. Right answer for this question is network virtual appliances. Let's see the reason. A typical network virtual appliance involves various layers, that is 4 to 7 functions like firewall, WAN optimization, application delivery controller, router, load balancers, IDS, proxies, SD-WAN edge, and more. And so the right answer for this question is network virtual appliances. Next question, which of the following option can you use to link virtual networks? Option A, network address translation. Option B, multi-chassis link aggregation. Option C, dynamic host configuration protocol. Option D, virtual network pairing. The right answer for this question is virtual network pairing. Let's see the reason. Virtual network pairing enables you to seamlessly connect two or more virtual networks in Azure. The traffic between virtual machines is paired. Virtual networks uses the Microsoft backbone infrastructure. And so the right answer for this question is option D. Next question, what is the logical break of virtual network known as? Is it Hyper-V, or VMware, or subnet, or no-net? No-net is not the right answer. Hyper-V and VMware are kind of enablers for virtual network. And so the right answer for this question is subnet. Next question, which of the following is true about virtual network? Option A, you configure virtual network through the software. Option B, a virtual network accepts traffic from all the ports. You can configure the firewall through virtual machine. Option C, virtual networks are always reachable from internet. The right answer for this question is option A. Let's see the reason. First, virtual networks are not always reachable from the internet. So that is a wrong answer because the virtual networks are designed to be more secured and the rules are set up to reach a node in the virtual network. Next one, a virtual network accepts traffic from all the ports. That is also false because of the rules set for security setup. Next, you can configure the firewall through virtual machines. You cannot configure a firewall using you cannot configure the firewall using virtual machines. However, you can configure virtual networks through the software. And so the right option for this question is option A. Next question. A virtual network is scoped to single region. Is it true or false? The right answer for this question is true. Let's see the reason. For better management and isolation, virtual networks are all scoped to a particular region. And so option A is the right answer. Next question. Dash lets you to create a secure connection to your virtual network from a individual client computer. Is it site-to-site VPN or point-to-site VPN or express route? The right answer for this question is point to site VPN. Let's see the reason. A point-to-site VPN gateway connection which will lets you to create a secure connection to your virtual network from an individual client computer. A point-to-site connection is established by starting it from the client computer, and it is more secured and reliable. And so the right answer for this question is option B. Next question. Dash is a web traffic load balancer that enables you to manage traffic to your web applications. Option A, Azure Application Gateway. Option B, Availability Set. Option C, Scale Set. The right answer for this question is Azure Application Gateway. Let's see the reason. Azure Application Gateway is a web traffic load balancer that enables you to manage traffic to your web applications. And so the right answer for this question is option A. Next question, true or false? Virtual networks from multiple subscription in your organization can link to same Azure DDoS protection plan. Is it true or false? The right answer for this question is false. Let's see the reason. DDoS protection plan defines a set of virtual networks that have DDoS network plan enabled across the subscription. You can configure one DDoS protection plan for your organization and link virtual networks from multiple subscription under a single Azure AD tenant to the same plan. So if you have the word single Azure AD tenant is enabled or available in the question, then the option might have been true. And so you need to take care of these wordings. Next question. You have an Azure virtual network named VNet1 in a resource group named RG1. You assign an Azure policy definition of not allowed resource type and specify that virtual networks are not allowed resource type in RG1. So VNet1 becomes dash is deleted automatically. Option B is moved automatically to another resource group. Option C continues to function normally. Option D is now a read-only object. Between this option is moved to automatically to another resource group is not at all possible. Option A is deleted automatically is also is not possible. Between option and C, we need to select an option. Since the since we have the virtual network VNet which is already there as part of the resource group RG1, for the new creation the policy will apply, whereas for the old one it continues to function normally. And so if there are any existing resource that are not compliant with the new policy assignment, they appear under non-compliant resources when you are seeing the status using Azure portal. So option C is the right answer. Next question. You have an Azure virtual machine named VM1. You plan to encrypt VM1 by using Azure disk encryption. Which Azure resource you must create first? That is which resource you should have to first create. Option A, a storage account. Option B, an Azure key vault. Option C, an Azure information protection policy. Option D, an encryption key. The right answer for this question is you need to create an Azure key vault first. Let's see the reason. Azure disk encryption requires an Azure key vault to control and manage disk encryption keys and as well as the secret. So that need to be created first. Next question, you plan to deploy 20 VMs to an Azure environment. To ensure that a VM named VM1 cannot connect with other VM, VM1 must be in dash. Option A, be deployed in a separate virtual network. Option B, run different OS other than VMs. Option C, be deployed in a separate resource group. Option D, have two different network interfaces. The right answer for this question is be deployed in a separate virtual network. The other options are wrong. Next question. You have an Azure environment that contains multiple Azure machines, Azure virtual machines. You plan to implement a solution that enables the client computers on your on-premises network to communicate to Azure virtual networks. You need to recommend Which Azure resources must be created for the planned solution? Which two resources should you include in your recommendation? Option A, virtual network gateway. Option B, load balancer. Option C, an appliance application gateway. Option D, a virtual network. Option E, a gateway subnet. Here, the right answer for this question is option A and E. That is, a virtual network gateway and a gateway subnet are the one that is going to be the right answer for this question. To add more, to implement a solution that enables the client computers on your on-premises network to communicate to Azure Virtual Network, you need to configure a Azure Network Gateway. That is very important. Second one, when you are doing Azure Virtual Network Gateway, you need to consider Gateway Subnet also to set up the rules in order to establish a secured connection. With that, I end up today's video. I hope this video is helpful to you. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe in order to get my updates to you. So don't forget to ring the bell. And as usual, this is not the end of the session. We are going to continue our session tomorrow also with a new topic. Till then, stay safe and bye now.